Hey y'all, what's up? This is John with Superfly, BeSuperfly.com. We make premium Divi child themes and plugins, as well as some great tutorials and a killer membership program. Be sure to check us out. In this tutorial, I'm going to go over how I use fontawesome, how I get it into the site without using a plugin, and then how to just manipulate it to put it in front of a different heading or change the color of it, stuff like that. So I'm just going to mess around with fontawesome and getting it into Divi and see how we can use it in different ways. And yeah, let's get to it. So first you're going to go to fontawesome.io, and if you want, you can sign up for their email. But I used to download it, but I don't do that anymore. What I do now is I go to Get Started, and then if you put in your email address right here, they will send you an embed code that you can just easily use on the sites that you're building. It will look something like this, but right here will be your numbers for your specific embed code. And so that's what I'm going to use. So yeah, my first step is going to be, I'm going to go over to our Divi theme options here. Go in the integration area, make sure my header code is turned on, and then I'm going to paste that code. That's where I would paste this code right there, but I'll have your numbers in there. I'm going to go ahead and put mine in there and go back to the edit page screen. But I'm going to put my numbers in there real quick, so I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back, and I got my embed code in there that I got from fontawesome. Again, it looked like this. And I actually set up my text expander that if I type fontawesome if I do one more E there, it's actually going to print that out for me with my numbers in there. So it's super easy for me to go in and just put that in to the projects that I'm working on. All right, so with fontawesome installed, just to test it really quick, we're just going to go to this first. We're going to work in this section first right here. I can see my heading 2. And by the way, if you notice, this heading, number 1, it has a gradient effect to it, and number 2, it's using Josephine Sans, which is not a Divi font. And the way I'm doing that is I have our Divi header customizer font plugin installed, and so in that I can go in here to my different H1 to H6 tags here. I can go into H2 desktop, and you see here I've picked from the font. Here, these are all the Google fonts, not just the ones that Divi has in it. Here's all the different weights that I can choose. I can choose whether or not I want to have a gradient color or not, which direction I want my gradient to go. Let's say if I wanted it vertical, it'll update over here and show me what that would look like, but I like the diagonal that I had. And then for this H2, I could go into the tablet view, and I could change it. I could even change the gradient colors for tablet if I wanted to. I don't know why I'd want to do that, but you could do that for tablet, and obviously text size, and even the font weights for tablet and mobile. So I'll be doing a video on how to use this too. But for those of you that are wondering, that's how I got that H2 just really quickly to look like that and look great. All right, so let's go. So now that we've got this installed, I'm going to go to icons here. And I'm just going to, let's say we want the Instagram icon. So I'm just going to type in Instagram. There I see it. I'm going to click on it. And then it gives you the code here that you want to get. So I'm going to go ahead and grab that code. Go over to my page here. I'm going to flip over to the code view. Paste that in. Save. And let's check it out. See what we get. And I'm actually going to close this customizer now that we don't. I'm going to save and publish that too, and then leave it. Great. Okay, let's refresh here and see if we can see our icon. And sure enough, there it is. So we're going to have a little bit of fun here. Let's see here. I think I'm going to try to do. I haven't tried this yet, but I think I'm going to try to put it in here. See what this does. Okay, yeah, it doesn't like the gradient heading, I bet. Which is fine because I wouldn't want it to. Yeah, if I turn that off. Yeah, there you go. So without the gradient heading, it looks like that, and that would be great. But I will show a different way here to make that work without having to mess around with the color there. But that could be a cool thing. First, also, let's make it into a button. So let's say down here you have your, well, here, I'll just do it an easier way. I'll just go over here, Instagram, link that up. You know, then your link or whatever. I'm going to open that new tab. Great. And then I'm just going to go switch to the back to the text view, grab my icon code there, copy that. Actually, I'm going to cut it for now. We'll probably come back to that heading issue later on. And then let's do right here. Let's replace the word Instagram with that icon. Update. And so now it's a tiny little link that works. But I want to make that bigger. I want to give it a background. That way it looks more like one of those, you know, share buttons or one of those buttons like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in here to my text. Hey now, there we go. And I am going to make sure that I'm in text mode here. And you'll see that when you flip back and forth, it got rid of the code. So that's one thing to be mindful of. Probably a better way to do this would be to grab this code, oops, all of it, and put it in a code module, like so. I'm just going to call it Instagram icon. So yeah, that would be a way around that. Let's just quickly make sure that that works. Great. It gave it a little padding, so you know, so I could go into this. I could go into the text settings for that text block and say, instead of margin bottom, maybe I said margin bottom 20 pixels, or it looks like going to be 15 would be about right. But we'll mess with that later. But that you could do that, and how you could do that is just go into this text right here, and go here to design, and then you would right here you would put. Might as well. We'll just put 15 right there. Okay, what also I'm going to do is in the Instagram icon code, I'm going to give this A link a class. I'm going to give it two classes. One, I'm going to call it network, because we're going to do a couple of these. We're going to do like Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and then I'm going to put a space, and I'm going to call this one Instagram. Like so. Yeah, so A class equals network and Instagram. That looks great. Save it. And nothing. And also it was margin bottom, not padding bottom on this text block. I was like, why did I give it more? Yeah, because it's let me go ahead and clear that. It's this one. But while I'm in here, I'm just going to change this from Instagram icon to just icons, or social media icons, because we're just going to do a few here. So let's just grab this one, copy it, come down a couple lines. We'll do 4 of them here. So the first one we'll do Facebook. So Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and then LinkedIn. Put the boring one last. Great. And so then our Facebook is going to be facebook.com, whatever your link is, twitter.com, instagram.com. Oh, that one already says Instagram. I have to retype that. LinkedIn.com. And then I'm going to go here and I'm going to grab those other icons. So I'm going to go back. I'm just going to search for Facebook. And I like this one here. It's going to work well with what I'm trying to do. So copy that code, and Facebook, where you at? There you are. Here's the I to the closing I. That's where I'm going to put that code. Next is Twitter. Perf. Grab this code. Twitter, there you are. Replace here. All that, I mean. Instagram, that one's fine. LinkedIn, I'm just going to go ahead and highlight that now and just LinkedIn. There we go. And if you love fontawesome, you should definitely check out fontawesome 5 Pro and consider that, because I bet it's going to be killer. All right, we'll put that in there. All right, save and exit. Let's see what we got. We should just have 4 of them now, maybe even on, probably on top of each other, I'm guessing. Nope, next to each other. Oh, even better. Great, so we have our icons. So now, since all of these have this setup of they all have a class of network and then they have their individual deals there, we can start styling these guys. And so I'm going to open up my code editor here, and we're going to add this code probably just to the page here, or actually we could even add it in this module. But then if you had, you don't want code spread out. Ideally, you'd add it to your theme options into the CSS area. And if mine's empty, then I will. Oh, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add it right there. If you have access to your child theme CSS and there's a custom area in that, I would do it there. But this is going to work just fine. Okay, so let's start doing this. I can get out of there now. I don't need fontawesome anymore. And I'm just going to have this code pulled up while I work over here, so I can see what I'm doing. Okay, so let's just do a.network. So this is going to go. This styling is going to affect all 4 because they all have this network in the class name. So a.network, and I'm just going to say we want some padding around them, and yeah, we'll make them all black for now. So we'll say padding. Let's just do like 15 pixels all the way around. Background color, we'll just do black, and then a.network, and we're going to go in and grab the I with a class of FA, just to be pretty specific here. So the icon and all those have the class of FA for fontawesome. We're going to make all those be white. There we go. Let me save that. Let me grab that. I should have increased the font size while I was in there, but what can you do? Hey, looking better already. And since we added that 15 padding, it's going up against that text now. So actually, I can just go in here and undo that, what I did earlier, because the amount of padding now is probably fine. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, I'd like them to be a little wider, and they're a little too tall, so I'm going to go ahead and pull this back open. I'm going to say 10. I'm going to say 10 pixels 20. And what this does is, this is the same as writing this. If you're top, it goes top, right, bottom, left. So if your top and bottom are the same, and your right and left are the same, you don't have to write the whole thing out. You can just do this, which means top and bottom, right and left. So we'll try that, and then I'm also going to say font size. Let's go with 18 here. Save that, copy it, bring it over here, select all. Boom, save it. Okay. I like the font. I want it to be a little bigger too. So I'm going to go in and just look at one of these. So let's just first go into one. And if you haven't watched my, I think 24 is going to be about right. 24 looks good. And then for the padding, let's do 15 and 18 looks pretty good. And it looks like there's some kind of, it looks like there's more bottom space than there's up top, and I can actually grab my ruler here and confirm that. So from there to the bottom is 18, but from here to the top is 8 or 9. So we're going to add 10 to the top. So what did I have there? Let's see. Inspect. I was working on, let me get out of my ruler mode. So we're going to do 15, 18, 15. This top needs a little more. Probably about that. So 20, 20, 20, 15 is what I'm going to end up with. And then 24 on the font size. So 20, 20, 15 means the top is 20, right and left are 20, bottom is 15. Or I could just write it like this, 20, 20, 15, 20, like that. Either way is fine. Change this to 24, save, select all, copy, go over here, put that in there. Ta-da! But I want to grab the brand colors for each of these and set the backgrounds, each one, to their brand color. So I'm going to go over here, I'm going to Google brand colors. Here we go. This looks pretty good. Facebook. I click on it and it copies it for me. Actually, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go down here. I'll do this up here. I'll do it down here. And actually, I'm going to be official here and just go up here and call this social media font awesome icons. I'm just going to go ahead and highlight that, comment that out. There we go. Save it. Come down here, a.facebook. Yep, and then background color. Put the £sign first. I'm just going to copy this. And then if you're using Atom or brackets or Atom, you can on the Mac you can do Command click and it'll give you multiple cursors. So I can just get rid of all these at once, and then I can go ahead and say a Facebook, a Twitter, a Instagram, a .LinkedIn. Because if you remember, that's where these guys come in, the second class name. And so, alright, so I got the Facebook one here, the Facebook, old school. Gonna grab Twitter here, go to my Twitter, double click, replace that. Instagram's tough because you gotta pick one, because they give you all these colors. So I'm just gonna choose this purple, I think, because the blues are gonna be pretty close. So I'm just, I'm gonna choose that one right there. I like that one. So Instagram, and then LinkedIn is our last one. LinkedIn, copy that color. I don't need that page anymore. LinkedIn, boom. And since we're setting all these colors now, I mean, you could leave this here in case you add another one that you don't have a color for, but we don't need it anymore. So select all, copy, save, come over here, paste that in. Now we have a nice little deal in our code that tells us what this code's doing. A little comment. Boom. And then now it's up to you to, if you wanted to, on hover, if you wanted to make them a little darker, you could do that or whatnot. If you wanted to increase I'm going to increase the spacing between them. And there's a couple cool CSS tricks we're going to do here. So since I'm going to do this on all of them, I can use this a.network one. I'm going to say margin right. Let's do like 8 pixels. Let's try that. Looks much better. Now, if you're like me, you know that this last one has 8 pixels of margin over there, and here we go. You can see it right there in the orange. And if you're like me, that bugs you and you want to get rid of it, but really you don't have to because nothing's next to it. But we will anyway. So there's a couple ways to do it. One way to do it, the easier way, is just to go into this guy and say, network, and then say last network. Save it. And then in your code, up here you could just say a.last network, and then margin right 0. In fact, you can even say a.network.last network. So it's going into the network ones and looking for this one. Copy, save, come over here. And visually it's not going to look any different, but now if we go and we hover over that a network, you see up here the margin is now 0 and there's no orange space like there are on the other ones there. So that's one way to do it. Another way to do it is if you don't know how many you're going to have and you can't go in here and add last network to the last one, so I'm going to get rid of that last network. And I think I can use a pseudo class, I believe, or I can say last. I think I could say last of type, margin right 0. Let's try that. Let's see what that does. I may have to be more specific than that. I may have to actually target like the container and then say last of type. But let's see here. Oh no, that worked. Oh, that worked. Hey, you can see last of type 0, but these ones have the margin still because they are not the last of type. And by last of type, it means the last A that has the class of network. So if you had another class of network, A class network somewhere else on the page, it would go find that one. And in that case, you would target, ETPV code 0, A.network last of type, and then that would target just this one. Alright, lastly, what we're going to do on this one, anyway, is we're going to add hover states over here. And I'm trying to think of what to do. What should we do here? Let's, I think it'd be cool to do something funky with it. Because you could just do like opacity, or like, I'll do an easy one first, and then we'll go from there. So the easy one to do would be a.network hover, and then say opacity 0.5. Save that, select all, come over here, put that in there, refresh it, and now they are not doing what I wanted. Why not? Because I misspelled network. Yep, that happens. Semicolon, colon, whatever, misspell word. Who has not had that happen? All right, there we go. So now they're doing that. Hey, I want it to fade though. That's not smooth transition. So then we'll add to our A network. We'll add a transition, and I have a little shortcut for that. So now it's going to happen over. It's going to transition that over 0.3 seconds. That looks great. Now let's do something different to have fun. Okay, so what I want to do different instead is not the opacity. I want to make I think it'd be cool if, here, let's try this. I want to make the font the same color as the background, but add a slight shadow to it, so it kind of looks like it's invisible, but it's not. So let's just do a.facebook hover. Color of the text is going to be this color. Boom. And then I can just copy this and do it for all of these right here. Put under each one. Okay, A Facebook hover, Twitter. Let's see, copy this. Copy Twitter. Twitter hover. Copy Instagram. Instagram hover. Copy LinkedIn. LinkedIn hover, and then for the color here, just gotta put that one there, copy this one here, copy that one there, and then a network on hover. A network on hover, the I.fa, yeah, I'm going to have to add that to those two, is going to get a text shadow. 0, 0, let's do like 10 pixels, and then let's do like 0.4, something like that. And then I need to add this I.fa to these. That way it goes in and targets the actual light icons, turns those colors. Oops, not that. Yeah, I did this a little confusing, but hopefully you'll see what I mean here. And I probably should have put a transition on the icons, but this might work. We'll see. All right. Anyway, yeah, not as cool as I thought. So how about this instead? Instead, I want to keep the colors there. Let's get rid of the text shadow, though. And let's just say a.network hover. And let's just make all the background color white. Now, this probably won't work because we're overriding the background colors with a.linkedin, a.twitter. That's more specific. So we might have to... Oh no, it worked. That's cool. I didn't think that was going to work. Okay, so what I'm going to do now is, now I'm going to show you how to take an icon and put it before something and then make room for it. This would be how you would also add an icon before your menu item up here if you wanted to. I'm going to add it to this guy, but this is how you would do it. So, first things first, I'm going to go into that text up there, and I'm going to go into the text view. I'm going to give this header a class name. So let's call it class, and I'm just going to call it fontawesome example. I'm just going to do FA example. Fontawesome example is too long. FA example. All right, H2 FA example. I'm going to copy that and save it. Update. And boom. It's going to not work because we haven't done anything yet. So let's go to the over here. So social media icon. We're going to work above that. And we're going to call this one fontawesome icon before a heading. Go ahead and okay, so h2.fa example, that's what we're going to be working on. And we're actually not going to affect the A2. What we're going to do is we're going to go in before, and I have some cheater code here that I use for image overlays that I'm going to borrow from. So we're going to want content this. I think we just want that for now. Yeah, let's just try that for now. And this is going to be tricky because I can't remember how to do content before content here with HTML. I think you can. Might be this one here. I know one of these CSS tricks articles shows you if you want to put HTML between it or before. Let's see here. Let's just do this. Put HTML in a before content. Might not be able to do this. I thought we could. I'm going to try it anyway. I'm just going to try it anyway. I'm not seeing what I want. But let's try the Instagram one. So let's go in here. Grab this. Content before. And then I'm going to make these single quotes. See if that even registered as a before thing. Yep, it didn't like that though. Let's see here. I'm going to look up real quick. I'll be right back. Okay, here's how I'm going to do it. Because normally you do it with an image, and with an image you can actually go in and place an image link in this content before, and then you could fix that up. But instead, I'm not going to do that. Instead, I'm going to go into this text here. Sorry, in this one here. And I'm going to do a couple things. Number one, I'm going to put the icon above it. And then number two, I'm just going to wrap all that in a div called, I'll call that FA example. That way I can get it off of the, I can get rid of this class. So we just have our yeah, perfect. And then slash div. And I probably would put this in a code module too. That way, because I'm going to copy that. I bet Divi's going to strip that out when I go back. Oh, no, it didn't. Let me try it again. Yep, there it went. So weird that it does that. But I'm just going to leave it like this for now and show you how I would do this. But I'm sure there's a better way to do it. Okay, great. So here's our setup, and like I said, if this was an image, I could definitely do it this way, but it's a fontawesome tutorial, so we're going to use fontawesome. So what I'm going to do here is, we have our div of FA example. First thing I'm going to do is give that a position of relative, so we can position things based off that. Next, what I'm going to do is go in that div there. I'm going to choose my fontawesome icon, and I'm going to give it a position of absolute. And then I'm going to go into my H2 there, and I'm going to give it some padding left of like 40 pixels. Let's see where this gets us. And I'll explain some of this as we go here. Okay, starting to take shape. So my heading has been moved over by that 40 pixels. I'm probably gonna go over like 50 or 60 and 50. And if you haven't seen my Google Inspect tutorial, head over to BeSuperfly.com to the blog, and you'll see how I use this thing on all these projects here. So I'm going to change this to 50. So what this does here, by setting the FA example div to position relative and then changing the icon to position absolute, I can then position the icon here relative to the div that's holding it. And that's just to be sure that when I position the icon, it's working on the div that's holding both of these. If I didn't do the position relative, there's a chance that it will go and look for the next relative item, which could be this over here. And if you try to position it based on that, this width back there is going to change because the browser window is going to change, where this one right here is not. So I'm going to go ahead and click on this guy, and a couple things. First, I'm going to say font size probably like 48 or something. Maybe even bigger than that. I might have to move my, let's try 60. And then I'm going to say it's left by default, which is great, left 0. So sometimes I like to put it anyway. left 0, and then top, let's say like, I don't know, 10. Okay, let's do a couple more. In fact, I can even make it bigger than, like, let's make it like 72, and then position it to where it's kind of bigger than the heading. That looks great. So I'm going to go ahead and go in here and copy these 3 lines and go up to my, paste those in, and that looks terrible, so I'm going to go ahead and just reformat that. And let's change this to like 75. And I'm going to change the color of the icon to a really light gray. Alright, let's try that. There we go. That's pretty sweet. Yeah, what you could even do is, I want to make it even lighter than that. And then when I hover over it, it's going to get brighter. So let's see here. Let's make it like a super light color, like so. There we go. What is that? Let me copy that color. And then where are we at here? Right there. And then I'm going to go back into my customizer and grab, actually I'll need to go back in there and do it. I'm just going to go grab it from here. So we have that color. Let me go ahead and refresh the page quick. It's not going to have our new color here yet, but I want to go ahead and click this. I want to get that purple color on the left, which is this guy right here. Let me copy that. So I'm going to say .fa example on hover, go into that icon, change the color to that, and I want it to be a transition one, so I'm going to go ahead and add my transition code. This should be pretty cool, and if this works, it's the last thing I'm going to show in this tutorial. Alright, so there's that. I roll over it and it comes up. And if I could even say, yeah, it needs to be darker than that. Let's do a little darker than that. So this guy, I'm just going to right click, quick edit. This is why I love brackets. Brackets will take it like down here. Maybe even mix in some purple blue there. Something like that. Or whatever color you wanted. And then let's say I want that to happen over a second. Paste that in. Boom. That's too dark, but whatever. And 1 second's too long. I think 0.5, half second, is going to be about right. And then let's just bring this up to like there. That's probably good. And then of course on tablet and mobile, as you went down in size, you would need to adjust the size of the icon font. Oh, that one looks really good. Very close. So as I go down in size here, then I would need to come in and put a media query to tell my my icon font here to then maybe be, 36 pixels, and it would come up a tiny bit like this, like so, and then I would tell my H2 to have way less padding left, maybe like that. And now when I hover over it, so that's how you would address it for mobile. But that's going to be the end of this tutorial here. I hope you've enjoyed just watching how I use fontawesome. And the cool thing about this code is you can reuse it again and again. You could put it in a global module that goes, all the, wherever you're, right above your footer on every page, or who knows what. And then this is kind of just a cool touch that people would be unexpected. They'd be like, oh, cool. And of course, with fontawesome, though, way more than just the social media icons. If you go to icons here, 41 in the new one, but then you have all of these that they've done throughout the whole time. My favorite being a lot of people's favorite, which would be the rocket. Anyway, again, if you haven't checked out the tutorial for Google Inspect Element, head over to our website, BeSuperfly, and check out a couple things there. Number one, check out our blog where I have that tutorial at. And number two, check out our, you can go to our store here, and yeah, so here we have a gradient buttons in Divi, and then somewhere on this page I have the, somewhere on our blog page I have the, let's go to tutorials. The Inspect Element should be on there. Yep, there it is, Google Chrome Inspect Element tutorial for Divi. So yeah, just go to the tutorial section, and that's where you'll find that. And then when you're on our store, feel free to go down and check out our Divi header customizer. That's what I was using to get this gradient here and this Google font. Alright, y'all, have a great day. Thanks for watching. Really appreciate it.